Welcome to the Department of Mining, Metallurgical, and Materials Engineering Laboratory Orientation. This video covers everything you need to know before accessing and using our facilities safely and effectively. First, let's discuss lab access. All students, researchers, faculty, and external stakeholders must secure official permission prior to using any DMMME laboratory. Each laboratory is managed by a faculty in charge, FIC, and a dedicated laboratory technician. They oversee room access, equipment upkeep, and facility improvements. Feel free to reach out to them to learn more about equipment availability for your coursework or research. To request access, you must submit an online laboratory request form available on the DMMME website. Please note that requests must be processed at least 3 working days before your scheduled activity. If you need to cancel an approved permit, do so at least 1 day in advance. Be sure to read the front page of the form carefully and double-check all details before submitting. Once you submit your form, it follows a standardized approval workflow. A prompt is sent to your nominated supervisor for endorsement. For activities scheduled after regular hours, the request routes to a supervising personnel for monitoring. If your work falls within regular hours, this step is automatically skipped. The faculty in charge then assesses the request based on facility availability, priority levels, and scheduling. Please take a moment to note the regular laboratory working hours shown here on screen. Once approved, your permit will arrive via email. You can save a digital copy or print it out. If your work takes place outside regular hours, you must print the permit and secure a physical wet signature from the department chair. When you arrive, the laboratory technician will assist you. Every user must log in before entering. Note that each lab has its own logging system. Accurate documentation ensures we can account for everyone in the event of an incident. Always report equipment issues immediately to the technician or FIC. If you require technician assistance, you must submit a request through the Job Order Management System, JOMS, on the DMMME website. We recommend consulting with the technician before submitting your request. Here is how a JOMS ticket moves through the system. A job order ticket is automatically created with a unique control number and set to open. If the job is unfeasible, the technician may reject and close it. You may reopen the request once an alternative plan is agreed upon. If accepted, the ticket status changes to ongoing. Once finished, the technician requests to close the ticket. You will receive an email prompt to submit feedback and officially close the order. Note that failure to close job orders properly may lead to a temporary suspension of your lab privileges. Before starting any work, review the safety data sheets, SDS, for all materials you will be handling. Put on the required personal protective equipment, PPE, tie back long hair, and remove loose jewelry. Always treat unknown substances as hazardous. Volatile chemicals must be handled inside a fume hood, and liquid transfers should be done using mechanical devices like pipettes. Here are essential rules to always remember. Do wear appropriate PPE, carry printed SDS sheets, log your equipment use, and follow safety protocols. Do not wear earphones, eat, drink, or smoke in the lab. Do not leave active experiments unattended or engage in horseplay. Make sure your PPE matches your task. For head protection, hard hats, Class A, B, C, or bump hats are required where overhead hazards exist. For eye and face protection, safety goggles, welding shields, or face shields protect against impact, chemical splashes, and radiation. For hand protection, wear chemical-resistant, cut-resistant, or general-duty gloves depending on the substance handled. Footwear, closed-toe shoes are mandatory. Sandals, high heels, and open-toed footwear are strictly prohibited. For hearing protection, earplugs or earmuffs must be worn in high-noise environments. Good laboratory practices keep our facilities safe, efficient, and orderly. All users must strictly comply with DMMME lab rules. Violations, including negligence, failing to show up during your scheduled time, or exceeding your approved hours, will result in an automatic 2-week suspension across all DMMME laboratories. When scheduling conflicts arise, permits are approved based on the following priority hierarchy. 1. Instructional laboratory classes, always prioritized for general equipment. 2. Affiliated project researchers using project-dedicated equipment. 3. General research activities, including graduate, undergraduate, and non-affiliated project research. 4. External clients and non-DMMME users. Remember, No approved class or permit means no laboratory entry. Because our facilities are shared concurrently across instructional classes, research initiatives, and extension services, proper coordination and courtesy are essential. Respecting shared spaces means keeping workstations organized, adhering strictly to your scheduled time slots, and being mindful of other users. Part of maintaining a shared space is responsible sample management. All materials stored in the lab must be clearly labeled with your name, project, class title, advisor, semester, and date of preparation. Unlabeled samples will be discarded immediately to prevent clutter and safety hazards. If you require dedicated storage space, secure permission from the lab FIC first. While adhering to these policies keeps everyday operations running smoothly, you must also be prepared in the event of an incident or emergency. If an injury or accident occurs, notify your instructor, supervisor, or available personnel immediately. First aid responders must take prompt action using the lab's first aid kit, eyewash, or emergency shower as needed. The responding staff member is required to submit an official incident report to the FIC within 48 hours. Please take a moment to save our emergency contact numbers and familiarize yourself with the evacuation routes posted near the exits. In addition to general emergency procedures, you must understand the specific chemical and electrical hazards associated with your work. When working with chemicals, always review the Safety Data Sheet, SDS, and familiarize yourself with hazard rating systems. Based on NFPA 704 Fire Diamond and HMIS Color Bar. Blue is for health hazard, red is for flammability, yellow is for chemical reactivity, white is for special hazards, PPE requirements, while hazard ratings range from 0, no hazard, to 4, extreme hazard. Pay close attention to standard hazard pictograms such as toxic, corrosive, flammable, oxidizer, explosive, and biohazard symbols. These indicate the exact level of protection required. Electrical safety is equally critical when operating heavy machinery and high-power equipment. Always inspect your workspace for frayed cords, exposed wiring, or damaged wall sockets. Ensure equipment switches are off before plugging into a receptacle, and always pull from the plug base, never jerk the cord. Ensure equipment is properly grounded, creating a low-resistance path to the earth to protect you from electrical shock. In the event of an electrocution emergency, do not touch the victim directly while they are in contact with the live current. Shut off the power source immediately. If that isn't possible, use a non-conductive object, such as a wooden broom or rubber mat, to separate the victim from the source before administering help. Once your daily experiments and hazard handling are complete, proper cleanup and checkout protocols are required before you leave the facility. Before leaving the lab, complete the following post-lab duties: clean your workspace, wash all glassware, and return tools to designated storage. Dispose of chemicals and waste properly in marked bins or turn them over to the technician. Turn off all utilities. If you are leaving after 5 p.m., notify the supervising personnel and security guard on duty. Have the technician or FIC close out your permit. Unclosed permits will block future reservation requests. Similarly, at the end of each semester or contract period, all users must finalize their administrative clearances. All lab class students must secure a laboratory clearance before grades can be submitted. Thesis students must personally dispose of all their research materials to clear their record. Project staff must complete lab clearance before receiving their certificate of employment. Our best safety device is our mind. Always think before you act, and if you are ever unsure, ask your technician or supervisor. Thank you for your attention, and welcome to the DMMME laboratories. Remember, safety is everyone's responsibility.